Eye-catching aerial footage reveals hardened lava across La Palma after the volcano eruption caused molten rock to flow all over the Canary Island destination. At least 10,000 people may have to be evacuated after a volcano erupted on the Spanish Canary Island of La Palma, as authorities warned lava flowing into the sea could release toxic gas. The eruption, which began on Sunday, September 19, has already laid waste to almost 600 hectares of land. As new lava stream nears the sea, La Palma residents try to stay a step ahead. Parts of Tazacorte will go into home confinement when the molten rock reaches the Atlantic Ocean, and some people are choosing to get out before that happens. Encarni is nervous. 3 of her nephews have just arrived with 2 pickup trucks at the door of her house in San Borondon, the southernmost residential area in the municipality of Tazacorte, on the Spanish island of La Palma, where a volcano has been erupting since September 19. The authorities have not ordered the area to evacuate, although they did warn that when the lava tongue reaches the ocean, a lockdown will be declared in 4 of the 7 neighborhoods in the municipality to avoid the possible inhalation of dangerous gases such as carbon dioxide. Yesterday the molten rock was 30 meters from the shore and was traveling at a speed of between 5 and 10 meters per hour, according to the Volcanology Institute of the Canaries, INVolcan, which is monitoring the eruption in this part of the Canary Islands, a Spanish archipelago off the northwest coast of Africa. Encarni's house, which has 2 floors and is next to the only restaurant in the area, is just 500 meters from the exclusion zone closest to the coast. "We'll take it all because the lava is going to arrive," says her husband, Juan, who is showing the youngsters how to load the boxes of crockery onto the pickup trucks. The couple has another house further north, in Punta Gorda, which they will use for storage. "They haven't told us anything, but you can smell it already. Pull up your mask," says Encarni to one of her nephews, amid a constant shower of ash. The residents of Tazacorte are afraid. The tensions that have been ongoing during the month since this new volcano began to erupt are seeing people trying to stay a step ahead of the destructive forces of the lava. They have seen relatives and friends forced to empty their houses in record time, and they don't want to be next. They are worried that the lava flow that branched off from the Callejón de la Gata Industrial Park in Los Llanos de Aradane and that is still moving toward the center of La Laguna could end up coming to their area, which is just 3 kilometers away. On Saturday, the authorities called together the residents of Tazacorte, which is home to around 3,000 people, to give them information. At the meeting in the Municipal Sports Center they handed over a leaflet with the different emergency scenarios and all of the steps that must be followed should there be a lockdown or an evacuation. That chat, which lasted more than 2 hours and allowed them to voice any doubts via a microphone, left the people even more concerned, as many who spoke that day have explained. "All I know is that I don't know anything," said one of the residents, after confirming that the meeting had only served to increase his nerves. "Can you assure us that we can sleep in peace?" one woman asked, in reference to the almost daily earth tremors. Ruben Fernandez, the technical director of the PIVOLCA team of experts monitoring the phenomenon, repeated a number of times that the behavior of a volcano is unpredictable, and that any forecast of the direction in which the lava would move would be imprudent and without any scientific basis. In the center of the city, which is another of the areas that could end up locked down in the coming hours, Francisco Camacho is discussing with one of his employees the route that the lava could take. Camacho, who owns the Kiosco San Miguel Café in the main square, says that he is not concerned about having to shut himself in his home, nor close his business. What's keeping him awake at night is the possibility that the whole town could be buried under the lava. "We've just come out of a pandemic and we managed to survive," he says. "The only thing I want now is for this all to stop." He opened up his cafe on Tuesday knowing that he wouldn't do much business. "Would you come and have a coffee with this ash?" says the waiter, as he overturns a table and watches a fine layer of ash fall to the ground. When the lava tongue, which has a temperature of around 1,000 degrees C, reaches the sea, there will be an explosion of steam that will generate a dense white cloud. The resulting chemical reaction, mostly emitting chlorine, can irritate your skin, eyes, and respiratory tracts. Yaira, 17, and Thalia, 16, are well aware of this. They are high school students and they have traveled to Tazacorte from Punta Gorda, as they do every Tuesday, for their math class. "If they lock us down, on Friday we won't come," one of them explains. "We don't want to breathe those substances." They are also aware that the only victim of the Tanegia volcano on La Palma in 1971 died after inhaling these toxic gases. In a nearby bar called La Airpara, 2 friends are having a coffee and chatting. They move around the city with high-grade FFP2 masks on, and say that spending more time at home does not concern them. I'm going to carry on doing the same things, says Nieves, 47, who works in hospitality and is thinking about moving to Tenerife because she believes that the situation is becoming impossible. Her colleague Aymara, 44, lives in La Laguna and was evacuated from her home. She is living in a house someone has loaned her in Tazacorte. Honestly, I don't care about the ash, the gases, COVID was much better than this, at least you were in your home, she complains. Nieves takes a sip of her coffee. This volcano is bad. Very bad. The as yet unnamed volcano on La Palma, in Spain's Canary Islands, is now 1 month old, and it has become the most closely watched volcano in the world. The eruption, the first recorded on Spanish territory in half a century, has only produced one piece of good news these past 30 days, the fact that there have been no fatalities. But more than 80 million cubic meters of lava have destroyed the life projects of thousands of people, leaving a long trail of material losses behind. Memories have been swallowed up by the molten rock, while hundreds of businesses and jobs have been lost. This is the story of the 4 weeks and 2 days that changed La Palma forever. The volcano's story had been developing for years under the Earth's surface, but it did not make itself known until September 11. That day, the island was hit by an earthquake hive, a series of tremors moving closer and closer to the surface. Just as was the case 10 years ago with the underwater eruption on the nearby island of El Hierro, this activity hinted that the Canary Islands were about to see another chapter in their volcanic history. At the time, volcanologists ruled out a minor eruption happening in the short term. We don't believe that a conclusion is imminent, said Maria José Blanco, the head of the National Geographic Institute, IGN, in the Canary Islands, on September 15. The earthquakes became particularly strong on the sunny morning of September 19, causing anguish and concern among the population of La Palma, which was moved up to a yellow alert for a volcanic eruption on Spain's traffic light system. And at 3:10 p.m., the volcano began to erupt in the Montana Rajada mountain, in the forest area of Cabeza de Vaca, located in the municipality of El Paso. The Canaries Volcano Risk Prevention Plan, PIVOLCA, an agency created in 2018 and made up of public administration officials, scientific organizations, state security forces and emergency and civil protection units, ordered the evacuation of 5,000 people. At 5 p.m., authorities increased the alert level to red, a move that affected the municipalities of Tazacorte, El Paso, Fuencaliente, Mazo, and Los Llanos de Aradane, which are home to 35,000 people. Scientists defined it as a strombolian eruption, which is characterized by alternating phases of explosive activity and effusive activity, when there is greater outflow of lava. It was not long before the powerful lava flow from the volcano destroyed its first neighborhoods. Authorities continued with the evacuations, with a total of 5,600 people evacuated by the end of September 19. A month on, this figure has risen to more than 7,000. On September 21 the lava entered Tazacorte, a municipality that was home to 1,300 people. It razed the town completely and prompted authorities to order the evacuation of more areas. On September 28, the river of molten rock reached the sea and began to create a lava platform that would spread out to cover 34 hectares of the water before it stopped growing. On October 12, a new vent in the northwest of the volcanic cone began feeding more molten rock into the different lava flows. Some lava streamed to the south, where it destroyed many hectares of agricultural land, other channels flowed to the north, forcing new areas to be evacuated. On October 18, a new lava tongue advanced around the Montana de la Laguna, a mountain in the municipality of the same name, from the south side and approached the Atlantic Ocean. Authorities prepared to order more home confinements, while the other lava flows continued to threaten previously evacuated sites. "We are in the meanwhile stage," said Angel Victor Torres, the premier of the Canary Islands, which are located off the coast of northwestern Africa. Meanwhile, the toll of the volcano continues to rise day after day. 1 month on, the eruption has swallowed up 762 hectares, 1,086 land plots, 56.4 kilometers of roads, 226.8 hectares of banana plantations and 1,692 buildings worth €201 million, according to a map created by El País that shows how the lava has advanced every day based on drone and satellite images. With 708.32 square kilometers, La Palma is the fifth largest island in the Canaries archipelago by land mass. The lava has affected just 1% of its total surface area, but this was a space where thousands of people lived and worked. It is also large enough to fit China's Forbidden City 4 times over and New York City's Central Park. The volcano on La Palma is obviously not unique in the history of the Canaries, an archipelago that was formed through volcanic activity. The island is located above the African continental plate. 20 million years ago, the plate began to move over a so-called hotspot. This spot injected magma and began to create the first Canary Islands, Fuerteventura and Lanzarote. La Palma and El Hierro are the youngest members of the archipelago, dating back 1.8 million and 1.2 million years, respectively. The archipelago is still located over this hotspot, meaning new islands could emerge in the future. The question now is, after 1 month, how much longer will the eruption go on for? At the moment, there are no signs that it is weakening. Emissions of sulfur dioxide remain high, and there continues to be a lot of seismic activity, which indicates that lava is still trying to reach the surface. The number of earthquakes may continue to increase each day, before stopping suddenly. Until then, La Palma remains at the mercy of nature's whims. The volcano usually does what it considers best, a spokesperson from the scientific committee said with resignation. 1 month on, to the misfortune of the people of La Palma, the volcano shows no sign of wanting to get some rest.
No obstante, la Consejería de Educación del Gobierno de Canarias ha decidido suspender la actividad educativa en este municipio palmero a partir de mañana. Asimismo, en las últimas horas la calidad del aire ha empeorado y esta situación podría seguir hasta mañana. Esto ocurre porque se espera más calima y a esto se le sumará la ceniza. Esos vapores ácidos son perjudiciales para la salud. En las últimas horas, especialistas de la Unidad Militar de Emergencias provistas con trajes especiales que pueden llegar a soportar hasta los 1000 grados Celsius, toman muestras de las coladas y verifican la temperatura de estas lenguas de magma que a pesar de estar en contacto con el aire desde hace horas conservan temperaturas de hasta 840 grados. Hasta aquí el vídeo, no olviden dar like, comentar, compartir, suscribirse y activar la campanita de notificaciones para estar al tanto de todas las publicaciones del canal. Nos vemos en el próximo vídeo. Chao chao gente.